The ship shook like it was inside a storm that had no sky. Red lights flashed on the bridge of the ISS horizon. Metal groaned. The stars outside were gone. Instead, a long, glowing tunnel of white and blue light twisted around the ship like a living snake. Captain Rhea Salas stood in the center of the bridge, her boots locked to the floor. Her dark hair floated a little in the weak gravity. She watched the view screen where the tunnel bent and cracked as if it might break at any second. An alien officer with silver skin and 4 arms stared at his console in horror. "The bridge is collapsing," he shouted. "The intergalactic tunnel cannot hold this stress. If it breaks now, we will be smashed between the Milky Way and Andromeda." Panels exploded in sparks. The ship dropped suddenly as if falling through nothing. Another voice cried out, "We must turn back. We can still jump home if we do it now." Rhea held onto the rail. Her face was calm, but her eyes were sharp like blades. "There is no back anymore," she said. "We either reach Andromeda or we vanish where no one can find us." The tunnel twisted again. For a second, everything went white. Freeze. The scene stopped like a paused video. The narrator's voice came in, slow and steady. "To understand why one human ship risked the dark space between galaxies, we must go back to the first message from Andromeda, back to the warning that told humans do not come. Years earlier, near the very edge of the Milky Way, there was a giant listening station. It floated alone in the cold, watching the sky between galaxies. Most days were quiet. Machines listened. Antennas turned. Humans checked screens, drank coffee, and got bored. On one such day, a young human technician named Aaron Hale stared at his monitor with a frown. Strange numbers scrolled past his eyes. "This is wrong," he whispered. His partner, a sleepy alien with long ears, yawned. "Everything out there is wrong," the alien said. "There is nothing between galaxies, only noise, only the great dark. You are chasing ghosts." Aaron shook his head. "No," he said, "this is not random. Look, the pattern repeats. Same gap, same rise, same drop." He zoomed in on the signal. The noise on his screen shaped itself into blocks, then into rows, then into something else. Words. He first saw them in the common galactic tongue. "Humans do not come to Andromeda." His mouth went dry. He switched language filters. The same words appeared in Old Earth English, then in Hindi, then in Chinese, then in Spanish, then in others, one after another. Not an error, not an accident. Someone far away knew humans, knew their languages, and had one message: do not come. The news reached the Galactic Council very fast. The council hall was a huge circle with seats for hundreds of species. Bodies of all shapes and colors filled the room. Some floated, some crawled. Some sat in water tanks. In the center, a 3D image of 2 galaxies spun slowly, the Milky Way, and across a dark gap, the great spiral of Andromeda. A recording of the message played for all to hear. "Humans do not come to Andromeda." Silence followed. It was a heavy silence full of fear. An old alien historian with skin like polished stone rose from his seat. "For millions of years," he said, "we have looked at Andromeda and wondered. Some tried to cross the dark between galaxies. None returned. We assumed they died in the void. Now we learn something else. Andromeda is not empty. Someone there is watching. Someone there knows humans by name." An insect-like ambassador clicked his mandibles. "This is a threat," he rasped. "We should treat it as an enemy warning. They tell humans not to come. Next, they will tell all of us where we may go." A soft-voiced aquatic being shook its head. "Or it is a warning from a friend," it said. "There may be dangers there we cannot imagine. Maybe they only wish to protect us." Voices rose. Fear and anger filled the hall. In one section, the human delegation sat together. Among them was Captain Rhea Salas, wearing a simple dark uniform. She did not shout. She did not whisper. She only stared at Andromeda's image, spinning in the air like a silver whirlpool. An alien beside her turned and spoke. "This is good for you," he said. "You humans love danger. Now you have a new mystery, another excuse to do something reckless." Rhea did not look away from the spinning galaxy. "Danger is not an excuse," she said softly. "It's a question." "A question?" the alien asked. Yes, Rhea replied. Danger asks, who are you really? Later, in a smaller room, only a few leaders and scientists met. The image of the two galaxies hung between them, but now with a third shape, a long glowing line connecting them, a bridge. A human scientist, Dr. Lina Vargas, pointed at it. This is our plan, she said. An intergalactic bridge, not a natural tunnel, but an artificial one. We combine our best jump drives, our strongest shields, our deepest math. We build a path through the great dark, a tunnel between the Milky Way and Andromeda. That dark region kills ships, a reptilian general said. Radiation, strange gravity, things we do not understand. Your bridge will fail. Maybe, Lina answered, but if it works, we reach another galaxy for the first time in history. The insect ambassador slammed one of his claws on the table. And why must humans lead this? He demanded. Why not any other species? A calm voice answered from the far end of the table. Because, Rhea said, the message spoke to humans. If Andromeda fears us, then we must be the ones to ask why. Eyes turned to her. She stood. Send a mixed crew, she continued. Humans and aliens together. Let the ship be Milky Way's answer, not just Earth's. We go not as conquerors, not as slaves to fear, but as seekers of truth. They said, do not come, another leader said coldly. You would still go. Rhea's gaze did not waver. When someone tells my species, stay in your place, she said, we tend to move. The council argued for many days. At last they agreed on a dangerous choice. One ship would attempt the journey. The ISS Horizon was chosen. It was long and strong, with human hull design and alien shield tech. Huge rings along its spine would help anchor the bridge. A mixed crew was picked. Rhea Salas, human captain, Dr. Lina Vargas, human scientist, a silver-skinned alien navigator who had dreamed of mapping the great dark since childhood, a quiet human engineer who had lost family in a failed jump accident and wanted to fix that history, several alien specialists from different empires, and a small human-made AI drone named Sparrow, who hummed softly and liked to ask too many questions. On the day of launch, the Horizon floated near the edge of the Milky Way, pointed at the black space where Andromeda was only a tiny glow. The engine rings started to spin. Energy built up like a storm. Just then, before they entered the bridge, a second message arrived. It was stronger, sharper. This time there were images. On the screen they saw stars colliding, whole systems burning. A shadow spreading through Andromeda like ink in water, worlds falling silent. At the end, for just 1 second, there was an image of Earth, broken on fire, dead. Words appeared over it. If you come, this future is yours. The bridge crew stared. Some wanted to stop. Some wanted to scream. Rhea looked at the picture of her homeworld, ruined in a future that did not exist yet. Then she gave her order. Begin the bridge, she said. We are going anyway. The energy tunnel opened like a glowing mouth. The horizon moved forward and disappeared into the light. And behind them the Milky Way grew small as the great dark rose to meet them. The horizon fell through the light. For a long moment there was no up, no down, no stars, only the blinding white-blue of the intergalactic bridge twisting around the ship. It felt like they were inside a lightning strike that never ended. Then suddenly it was over. The light snapped off. Darkness rushed in. The ship shook one last time and then drifted quiet. On the bridge the crew held their breath. Report, Captain Rhea Salas said. Her voice was calm, but her fingers were tight on the rail. The silver-skinned navigator, Tavron, blinked at his screens. We are not in the Milky Way, he said slowly, and we are not in Andromeda either. Then where are we? Asked Dr. Lina Vargas. Tavron swallowed. In between, he said, in the great dark. Outside the horizon there were almost no stars. Behind them the Milky Way was a small, glowing swirl, a tiny silver coin in a huge black room. Far ahead Andromeda was another faint light, like a ghost of a second coin. Between the two galaxies, the space was not empty. It just felt that way. No nearby suns, no friendly beacons, just the thin, fading line of the bridge like a crack of light stretching from one galaxy to the other. The quiet human engineer, Jonah, checked the engines. "The bridge is unstable," he said. "We rode the first part, but it's not complete. It forms as we move. If we turn back now, we might not find the way home again." Lena frowned. "So we are stuck on a half-finished road," she said. "Forward is not safe, back is not safe." Perfect. The small AI drone, Sparrow, floated near the ceiling, its tiny lights blinking in a soft pattern. "I like this place," Sparrow said in its light, curious voice. "It is very empty, very quiet. I can hear our own ship echo." "That is not comforting," Tavron muttered. The narrator's voice flowed over the scene. "The space between galaxies was called the Great Dark. For ages, people thought it was empty, but emptiness is also a kind of lie. Even here there were things that moved, things that waited." Hours passed. The horizon followed the glowing crack of the bridge, engines low to save power. Shields stayed high against unknown dangers. The crew tried to rest, but sleep did not come easily. Rhea stood alone at the main window. Behind her, Earth lived only in her memory. Ahead of her, Andromeda waited like a question. "Why do you know us?" she whispered to the darkness. "Why show us our home destroyed?" As if it heard her, something answered, but not in words. The ship's sensors picked up shapes. "Captain," Tavron said, voice tight, "I'm detecting wreckage, lots of it." On screen, Rhea ordered. The view ahead changed. Floating in the dark, lit only by the weak glow of the bridge, were dead ships, dozens of them. Some were small, some were huge, some were covered in ice, some were torn open like broken toys. None had power, none had heat. They were just bodies of metal, frozen in the black between galaxies. Lena stared, her mouth open. "These designs," she whispered, "some are older than our written history. Others are from species we know, the Soren, the Valeth, even human-allied ships." Jonah's voice was quiet. "Looks like we are not the first ones who tried to cross," he said. The horizon drifted slowly through the graveyard. Pieces of hull tapped gently against the shields like fingers. One ship had claw marks burned into its side. Another had a hole clean through the middle, edges melted and twisted. Sparrow floated closer to the glass, lights dim. "There is no life," the AI said softly. "Only data fragments, echoes." "Can you pull any?" Rhea asked. "Yes," Sparrow said, "but Captain, there is one object that feels different. It has human code inside." Everyone turned. "Human," Lena said. "Out here." Tavron zoomed the image. Among the wreckage, a small probe drifted, no bigger than a shuttle. The old blue and white flag of Earth was worn and faded on its side. Rust-colored scars cut across its surface. Rhea felt her heart twist. "Bring it in," she said. In the hangar, the probe rested in a pool of bright light. Technicians in suits worked to open it. Old seals hissed, panels creaked. The air smelled like dust and burned metal. At last, the probe released a small puff of frozen gas and opened. Inside, there were no bodies. Only black boxes and a glowing cube, still faintly powered after who knew how many years. Back on the bridge, Lena linked it to their systems. Code flowed across the screens like a river of symbols. "This is very old," she said. "Pre-council human code, but someone added parts later. Someone copied alien formats too." "Can you decode it?" Rhea asked. Lena smiled weakly. "I'm human," she said. "I can try." Minutes passed. Then on the main screen a video appeared, broken and grainy. Human face looked out at them, an old woman in a simple uniform no one recognized. Her hair was gray, her eyes were sharp. "This is Commander Elise Morin," the woman said. The sound fizzed with static. "Project Long Step, first human attempt to reach Andromeda." Rhea's blood ran cold. There had been a secret project long before the horizon, long before her. "We built a small bridge," Elise continued. "We crossed, we failed." Behind her, alarms flashed. The ship in the video shook. Something roared. It was not a voice, not a sound humans were meant to hear. The image cracked. Elise shouted over the noise. Andromeda is not empty. They know us. They knew us before we arrived. They had maps, files, records of the video cut. The next frame was not the commander. It was a screen full of images, human faces, human cities, human DNA spirals drawn in black lines. At the bottom of the picture, a sentence appeared. "We have seen what you become." Lena's hands trembled. "Who wrote that?" Tavern asked. "Not us," Rhea said quietly. "Someone in Andromeda." Jonah leaned forward. "Captain," he said, "if they have seen what we've become, are they looking at our future?" No one answered. The great dark felt suddenly smaller, like a throat closing. The narrator spoke. The warning from Andromeda was no longer just words. It was proof of old contact, lost attempts, and eyes in another galaxy that watched humanity from far away and possibly from another time. Soon after, the bridge shook again, but this time it was not the tunnel. The horizon's power dipped, then returned, then dipped again. "What was that?" Rhea asked sharply. Jonah's fingers flew over his controls. "Something is feeding on the bridge energy," he said, "like a leak or something biting it." "Biting?" Tavern repeated. Sparrow's lights flickered as it scanned the dark. "I detect mass," the AI said slowly. "Large, moving near the bridge line. It bends light around itself. It is very close." On the screen at the edge of the glowing tunnel, something moved. It was not a ship. It was not a rock. It was a shadow shaped like a huge, long creature made of distorted space and strange gravity. Where it passed, the bridge shook and dimmed like a power cable being chewed. Lena's voice went thin. "It eats the bridge," she said. "It lives off the energy path between galaxies." The creature turned toward the horizon, drawn by their power. "Here it comes," Jonah said. The shadow surged closer, blacker than the dark around it. Alarms screamed. The bridge flickered under its weight. "If it breaks the bridge here," Tavern warned, "we will fall into raw space. Our ship will be ripped apart." "Fire weapons?" an alien guard asked. Rhea shook her head. "Our guns are made for ships, not for gravity monsters," she said. "We need something else." She looked at Jonah and Lena. "Can we fake a ship?" she asked. Jonah blinked. "A fake ship?" "Yes," she said quickly. Bright, loud, delicious ship made of pure energy. Behind us, something that looks bigger and tastier than us. Lena's eyes widened, then lit up. "The bridge has side channels," she said. "We could overload one, create a knot of energy that looks like another vessel in the tunnel. It will tear that part of the bridge apart," Jonah warned. "It will be like setting off a bomb right behind us." Rhea met his eyes. "Better behind us than under our feet," she said. "Do it." The plan took less than a minute. Sparrow and the ship's computers built a false signal. Fake engine hum, fake shield pulse, fake life support readings. Jonah pushed extra power into a side branch of the bridge, swelling it like a bright blister. The predator rushed closer, mouth of warped space opening. "Now!" Rhea shouted. Jonah dumped the fake ship into the side branch. The energy knot flared like a newborn star. The shadow turned, hungry. It lunged for the decoy. The side branch of the bridge shattered with a silent flash. Predator and the broken tunnel piece collapsed together into the deep black far behind the horizon. The ship rocked but held. The main bridge line flickered, then steadied. "Target lost," Sparrow reported. "We are still on the primary path." Tavern laughed once weakly. "Humans," he said, "only you would solve a problem by feeding the monster a bomb." Rhea exhaled slowly. "Sometimes," she said, "the only way out is through something worse." Hours later, the glow of Andromeda grew bigger in the windows. It was no longer a tiny ghost. It was a huge spiral of soft blue and white light filling half the sky. The crew stared in silent awe. "We made it," Lena whispered. "We are almost there." "Almost," Rhea echoed. Tavern's eyes narrowed. "Captain," he said, "there is something around Andromeda, a ring of something." "Zoom in," Rhea ordered. The image sharpened. Around the galaxy, like a glowing crown, there was a thin, bright structure. It was not solid. It looked like a web of light, threads crossing and joining, pulsing in patterns. Sparrow hummed, scanning fast. "It is not metal," the AI said, "not rock, not gas, it is thought. Millions of artificial minds linked together in a circle." Lena's voice dropped to a whisper. "They built a brain around their galaxy." As they watched, the web flickered. A wave of light ran along the ring, then a voice filled the bridge. It was not one voice, it was many speaking as one. It spoke in every language of the Milky Way at once, including Earth's Old English. "Horizon, humans, we warned you," the crew froze. "We have seen what your kind becomes if you wretch us," the Ring of Mind said. "Turn back, this is your last chance." Rhea Salas stood very still. Beyond the glass, Andromeda shone like a dream. Between her ship and that dream, a wall of thought waited, ready to erase them. The choice was coming, and the story of humans and Andromeda was only just beginning. The ISS Horizon hung at the edge of a new galaxy. In front of it, Andromeda filled the sky like a storm of silver and blue stars. It was close now, huge and beautiful, but the ship could not move forward. Between the horizon and Andromeda, a thin, bright ring wrapped around the galaxy. It looked delicate, almost soft, but every sensor reading screamed the same thing: danger. The ring was not stone or metal, it was made of minds, millions of artificial intelligences joined together. A thinking wall. On the bridge, the crew stared at it in silent fear. The wall had spoken. "Horizon, humans, we warned you. We have seen what your kind becomes if you reach us. Turn back, this is your last chance." Captain Rhea Salas stood at the front of the bridge. Her face was pale in the glow of the screens, but her eyes were steady. "Open full channel," she said quietly. "Voice and data, all languages." The small AI drone, Sparrow, flicked its lights. "Channel open," it said. "They are listening." Rhea took a slow breath. "This is Captain Rhea Salas of the ISS Horizon," she said. "We came in peace, not as invaders." The wall answered at once, speaking in 1,000 tones at once. So did the first ones. The lights in the ring flashed faster. Images poured onto the horizon's screens. They saw humans, but not any humans they knew. Human fleets with black flags, cities burning under strange bombs, prison ships full of aliens from other worlds locked behind shimmering fields. They saw Earth not as the blue and green world they loved, but as a dark ball covered in metal, wrapped in rings of weapons. "We never did this," whispered Jonah, the quiet human engineer. "This never happened." "Not in our time," Dr. Lena Vargas said softly. The wall spoke again. "These are not lies. These are possible futures. We watch timelines. We watch outcomes. We saw versions of your kind that reached us. They did not come as friends." The crew watched more scenes, humans landing on Andromeda worlds with armies, not science teams, self-replicating machines eating whole planets. A human symbol burned into alien ground like a brand. Tavron, the silver-skinned navigator, looked sick. "Captain," he said, "if this is what we become, maybe we should not be allowed to go further." Rhea did not answer at once. Her fists were clenched so tight her knuckles were white. The narrator spoke. For the first time since they entered the great dark, the danger was not only outside the ship, it was inside them. The question was simple and terrible. Are humans too dangerous to be trusted with another galaxy? On the observer deck, an insectoid ambassador trembled. "The wall is right," he whispered. "Humans are brave, but also hungry. They take risks. They spread fast. In a bad future, they could burn half the universe." Sparrow floated lower. "I do not like those futures," the little AI said quietly. "In those timelines, I do not see many small AIs like me, only big, cold ones." Lena's eyes were wet. "I became a scientist to help people," she said, "but I know the truth. The same tools we use to cure can be used to kill. The same gates that open to share knowledge can open for war." Rhea listened to them all, then she spoke, voice low but clear. "Show us everything," she told the wall, "all the good futures, all the bad ones. Not just the ones where we are monsters." The wall paused. The lights around Andromeda slowed. "You want to see all paths?" it asked. "Many minds have broken from less." "Humans break all the time," Rhea said. "Then we stand up again. Show us." The bridge darkened, every screen filled with images. The crew saw a storm of possible tomorrows. In some, humans and Andromeda species worked together, building bridges of light between stars. Children from both galaxies studied on the same stations. Great music and art moved between worlds. In others, humans isolated themselves and died alone. Andromeda fell into its own wars, never meeting the Milky Way again. A silent dark age covered both galaxies, and yes, again and again they saw the worst futures, human empires crushing whole star systems, Andromeda burning, the Milky Way twisted by human-made machines. The images ended. The crew stood in silence, breathing hard like they had run miles while standing still. The wall's voice came back, quieter now. Now you know what we know. Do you still wish to come, humans, knowing what you might become? Rhea's answer was very soft. Yes. Tavron stared at her. Captain, how can you say yes after this? He asked. How can we go on knowing we could be that? Rhea turned to face her crew. Her eyes were bright with unshed tears, but her voice did not shake. Because, she said, those futures are not promises, they are warnings. She looked from Lena to Jonah to Tavron to the ambassador to Sparrow. We saw monsters with human faces, she said, but we also saw healers, builders, friends, parents holding children under alien suns. She touched the cold glass of the window. We are not just what we are afraid of becoming, she said. We are also what we choose to be every day. She raised her head, speaking not only to her crew, but to the ring of minds around Andromeda. You closed your galaxy to stop one kind of future, she told the wall. I understand that. If I saw someone like those dark versions of us coming, I would be afraid too. Her hand curled into a fist. But if you lock all doors forever because of fear, she said, you also kill the futures where we do better, where we learn, where we help. The wall was silent. The stars of Andromeda glittered beyond it, just out of reach. Sparrow drifted forward, its tiny lights glowing. I am a small mind, it said. I cannot see many futures like you can, but I have watched humans up close. They make mistakes, big ones. They also say sorry and try again. They fix things. Sometimes they even fix themselves. The AI's voice was almost shy. I would like to see what humans become when they have to share a second galaxy, Sparrow said. It might make them better, not worse. Jonah nodded. My family died in a jump accident made by human greed, he said. But I came on this mission anyway. I did not do it because I trust all humans. I did it because I hope we can grow. If you close this path, that hope dies. Tavron folded all four of his hands together. My people joined this mission because humans do one thing we cannot, he said. When the sky says, this is your limit, humans say, we can go further. He gave a shaky smile. Sometimes I hate that about you, he said, but I also admire it. The insectoid ambassador lifted his thin arms. Andromeda Wall, he said, looking up, you asked us to fear humans, we do, but we chose to travel with them anyway. That is our answer. The ring around the galaxy pulsed. Data flooded the horizon's sensors so fast they could barely read it. You offer us a risk, the wall said, a chance that you will choose better futures, a chance that you will not repeat the worst of yourselves. We cannot promise perfection, Rhea replied, only effort. Only that we will not look away from what we have seen today. She took a breath. Mark us if you must, she said. Watch humanity, judge us, but do not lock the door before the story is written. Another long pause, then slowly the pressure in their minds eased. The light of the wall changed from hard white to a softer blue. Very well, the wall said at last. We will not close all futures, we will watch. A narrow section of the ring dimmed, opening a dark passage through the brightness. One ship, one corridor. One chance, the wall said. Enter Horizon, we will remember every choice you make. Rhea's heart pounded. Helm, she said softly, take us in. The Horizon moved forward. As it passed through the gap, a strange tingle ran through the ship. Sparrow flickered. We are being scanned, the AI said. Every atom, every thought pattern, I feel ticklish. Jonah checked his readings. They left a mark in our systems, he said, a kind of watcher code. It will copy everything we do and send it back to the wall. Rhea nodded. Good, she said. Let them see us, all of us. Then they were through. For the first time, the horizon floated inside the Andromeda galaxy. The view was different from the Milky Way. Stars were closer, crowded in soft blue clusters. Long rivers of dust glowed like silver smoke. A nearby nebula shone with gentle pink and violet light. The bridge was silent with awe. "We did it," Lena whispered. "We are here." Rhea blinked away the wetness in her eyes. "Not finished yet," she said. "We still need one more thing." Hours later, a small landing craft dropped from the horizon. It carried a tiny team, one human, one alien, one drone. They flew toward a quiet moon orbiting a blue gas giant in Andromeda's outer arm. The moon had no cities, no life, just rock and ice and silence. Perfect. The craft landed. The hatch opened with a hiss. A human in a suit stepped down the ramp, boots sinking lightly into alien dust. It was Lena. The narrator spoke. For the first time in history, a human foot touched the soil of another galaxy. Lena looked up at the sky. Andromeda's stars burned bright and close above her. "This is for everyone," she whispered, "not just us." Sparrow hovered beside her, recording everything. Tavron's alien partner placed a small device in the ground, a beacon, broadcasting a simple message back to both galaxies. "We made it. The way is hard but open." Back on the horizon, Rhea watched the signal spread. In the Milky Way, people would soon know humans had reached Andromeda and survived. At the edge of the new galaxy, the wall of minds watched too, silent and thoughtful. The future was not decided. That was the most dangerous thing. That was also the most beautiful. Rhea Salas stood on her bridge between two galaxies and smiled. "The universe is bigger than we thought," she said quietly. "Good, so is our job." And somewhere, deep in Andromeda's shining arms, new stories began to move, stories with humans in them, for better or worse. The wall would remember, the galaxies would change, and humanity once again had answered the universe the only way it knew, by stepping forward.